Hey there, Jon Chorba here from ReallyEasyGuitarLessons.com, and in this video lesson, I'm going to show you 10 ways that you can play an F chord on the guitar. So, an F is one of the hardest ones to play for the beginner guitar player because even the easiest versions of it are still quite difficult. But this lesson is really about being able to find the F all over the neck of the guitar. So whether you're brand new or you got some experience, this lesson is great just to build up what I call your fretboard navigation skills, the ability to find any given chord on the neck of the guitar. And in this lesson, we're talking just about an F major chord. Let's jump in and get started. All right, first we have what I refer to as the stupid simple version of an F. This is the easiest way you can probably play an F on the guitar. Okay, and this is gonna involve the D, G, and B string, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and you play just those 3 strings. Don't play anything more than those 3 strings. That is the easiest way for you to play an F on guitar. Now the second way is also kind of easy, but it involves one little extra step. Okay, we're gonna take the two notes from the last version, the 2nd fret of the G string with my middle finger, and the 1st fret of the B string with my index finger. However, on that B string, I don't want you to be on the tip of your finger. I want you to lay your finger flat. So you want your 1st finger to hold down both the B and the E string. And in order to do that, you can't be on the tip of your finger. You need to lay it flat. This little joint right here is called the dip joint, D-I-P, the dip joint. You need to have your dip joint be flat and let it hold down both of those strings. And while you're doing that, play the 2nd fret of the G string, and this time you play from the G string down. Okay, so an F chord is made up of 3 notes, the notes F, A, and C. The first version, here was the F, here was the A, and here was the C. And in this version, we're now playing the A, then the C, and then the F. So it's the same notes, but just in a different order, okay? And that leads us into our 3rd version, which is a combination of the first 2 and a very common open position chord shape. So this one, we take the 3rd fret of the E string with our ring finger, the 2nd fret of the G string with our middle finger, and then bar the 1st fret of the B and the E. And you play from the D string down, okay? With both this version and the stupid simple one, you want to make sure that you don't hear a high E string that's open, okay? Because that changes the sound, all right? That makes it become an F major 7 and not an F major, right? Now there's one extra note there. So in both of those versions, okay, the stupid simple, you just want to play 3 strings, and in this 3rd version here, the open position version, you want to make sure that those notes are sounded at the correct frets. All right, now we are going to get into the bar chord shapes of this. So everything we just did is going to be inside of the next shape. It's a 6-string major shape. So your 1st finger is going to bar across all 6 strings at the 1st fret, all right? And then my middle finger is going to go to the G string of the 2nd fret, my ring finger to the 3rd fret of the A, and my pinky finger to the 3rd fret of the D. Okay, so this is a bar chord. Bar chords are hard. If you can't get this right away, I don't expect you to get it right away because nobody gets it right away. Bar chords are tricky. Okay, but you're playing all 6 strings. That's an F, that's a C, that's an F, that's an A, that's a C, and that's an F. So even though you're playing 6 strings, you're still playing only 3 notes, F, A, and C. The next way is what I refer to as the Hendrix shape. So it's the same idea as the bar chord, except your thumb is going to play the low E string. You're going to bring your thumb over the top, and your thumb's going to play the low E string, and you're going to let it touch the A string to mute it, okay? So the A string is just muted. And then the ring finger, middle finger, and index finger are doing the same shape that you did with the stupid simple version, right? The first way. You're just doing those 3 strings, okay? And you're playing from the E string to the B string, right? So this chord form was made popular by Jimi Hendrix and many other guitar players that studied his style of music. And it's useful to know, hard to do though, okay? So if you're having trouble with that shape, this shape and the bar chord shape do give students a lot of trouble, but practice it because you will see it and it's useful to know. All right, the next shape is another bar chord. This one time it's gonna be at the 8th fret of the A string, okay? And the bar, we're not gonna do it with the index finger this time, we're gonna do it with the ring finger. So index will be on 8 of the A, and my ring finger will play the D, G, and B string of the 10th fret. Okay, so now I'm using this finger to bar to hold down multiple strings on the same fret. And that's another version of an F. And then the next version is a fragment of that, just the 10th fret. So when you play it like this, you have an F, a C, an F again, and an A. There's where it makes the F major chord. If I just take those D, G, and B string notes, that's also an F chord, also kind of referred to as the A shape of the F chord, the 10th fret. So when would you use one versus the other? Well, like this would be more in like rhythm guitar, but here, this shape, it's useful to know from a lead guitar perspective because it's a triad shape, and the way we kind of go about learning how to improv is be able to spot the chord via a shape and then build either vocabulary or a scale pattern around the shape. So just knowing that it's there, that's, again, just this whole idea is a fretboard navigation exercise, being able to find all the common ways that you see one given chord. So you have a bar chord here, and you have the little fragment here. And then also building off that, you could do another triad shape on just the G, B, and E string, 10th fret of the G, 10th fret of the B, and 8th fret of the E. That will give you an F chord as well. And then the next one would be what I call the C shape, or what is called the C shape, because your hand is making the outline of what is known as a C major chord, but it's an F. So it's the 8th fret of the A string with the pinky finger, the 7th fret of the D string with the ring, the index is on 5 of the G, and the middle is on 6 of the B. So there's an F, that's an A. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little muting there. My hands are really cold right now. You have no idea how cold my hands are. F, A, C, and F, okay? A string, F, D string, that note's an A, that's a C, and that's an F again. And that shape gives you an F major chord. Again, useful, hard to play, hard to get to, hard to change to, especially when your hands are as freezing as mine are right now. But when you change into it, it can be difficult, but it's a useful shape to know. Again, some songs have that shape in it, but also from like a lead guitar perspective, being able to visualize the shape of the chord in that zone on the guitar. That's really what you're drilling here and what you're trying to practice so that you understand how to do it. And then the last one, built off of the previous version, this is a D shape. So this would be the 5th fret of the G string, the 6th fret of the B string, and the 5th fret of the E string. Makes a D shape, that's a C, that's an F, and that's an A, and that's an F major chord. And so like, one of my favorite things to practice with these triads is taking the triad shapes that we looked at. You have that second way here where you have that version of the F, and then moving it up here, you have that version of the F, then you have the next version of the F here with that triad, and then you have it the same one you started with, but up an octave. And just being able to spot, hey, these are all the spots where an F is, okay? Now, if you're thinking, well, there's no songs that, I would strum and would have all of those shapes in it. Maybe, maybe not, but the idea is if you can locate them on the guitar, anything else that you go to do, like when you're learning songs and solos and if you're playing with another guitar player, it's a big one. Like if you're playing with another guitar player and they're playing a standard F, you can now play in other areas and make things up to complement what another player is doing. So again, fretboard navigation is one of the core skills that all guitar players need to learn, and that's the whole idea here, is being able to spot all the different zones that you could find one given chord. All right, that's it for this video lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.